Excuse me, miss, have you ever built a business in Japan before?
Sorry, I'm in hurry.
There's a lot of people here who want to know how to start a business. Can I ask you just a few questions?
Okay, sure.
And I'm here with.
My name is Tamaki. I'm a founder and CEO of Planet Labs, and we operate a PlanetDao that is a real estate fund that is specified in historic buildings in Japan.
So, why did you start a business here in Japan?
So throughout my career, I was always in startup scenes. So I finally wanted to do what I wanted to build. Yeah, that I'm passionate with.
A lot of people find it difficult to decide on the type of business to establish in Japan. How did you know what business you wanted to start?
Right. So there should be always a mission and also a solution that you find passionate with. So my career was in tourism. So during the COVID time, of course, my business was down, and also there are so many people whose business were down as well, especially with the real estate because they need to cover the taxes while even though the business is not running. So we wanted to have a solution for that.
A lot of people think that running a business in Japan is difficult. Is that true?
Could be true, depending on what you like and what kind of career that you want to go for. I'm not a person who can work for a big corporate, I will say. So it was easy for me to go with what I'm passionate about. Yeah.
What gave you the courage to start a business in Japan?
Good question.
What gave you the courage to start a business here in Japan?
Sure. As I said, throughout my career, I was always in a startup scene. So there were a lot of shacho, president of the company around me. So it was supernatural for me to, start a business. I think it's a big gap between like people who are working for the big corporate for the throughout the career, starting the new business out of it, and also like people like me who friends are kind of, CEO and founders.
If you weren't exposed to a lot of CEOs, do you think you would have started a business in Japan?
Could be. Because my father is running a business as well. So could be.
Okay.
Yeah. But if my father was not running a business, then it'll be very hard for me to make that decision, I think. Because I think the circumstances of Japanese big corporate is that they will secure your whole life career, right? So once you started the career, then you will work for the company for the throughout your life. It's very common in Japan. That's why it's pretty hard, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of people in Japan that don't start as many businesses compared to the US. Why do you think that is?
I think the system. I've never worked for the U.S. corporate, so I'm not sure how it works. But it's pretty easy that the company will cut you off, like fire you. I think, but in Japan, it's not. It will like kind of never happen, kind of thing. So company will secure your insurances and your like of course salaries and all. So it's really difficult to give up on something that you already have. I think in Japan.
And so it goes back to the courage of why you started the business because of the people around you.
Yeah,
Right.
people around me, and also in startup, of course, like you I was my salary was paid to me, but you don't know if the business will exist in the next year or in the future, right? So and I enjoy the risk of it because if there's nothing that has been built already, then the opportunities is for you to build something new, right?
Correct.
So I enjoy the whole process of it.
Got it. Got it. So it sounds like for you, the opportunity gets you excited.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people know that networking is important, but they don't know how to network in Japan. What advice would you give them?
I used to go to a lot of networking event before, but I stopped going to the networking event because it's more important to have the collaboration between people rather than just getting some like business card like list of the business cards from the
Collection.
networking. Yeah, exactly. So once you find like something that we can exchange, and or like pay for, then I decide to meet the person. So if there, yeah.
So, what are the misconceptions of starting a business here in Japan?
I think the experience of being the CEO or founding something can be advantage for your career too. So when you're like leaving your big corporate or the company that has been hiring you, you feel like you're losing something, but it's not. Taking a challenge itself will leverage your career, I think. Yeah. So that's the biggest misconception is that like starting a company, it's not as risky as you think.
For Japanese females who want to start a business, what would you recommend them to do? As you mentioned about, there's not many resources, maybe they don't have people around them, but if they want to start a business here, how can they do it? What advice would you give to Japanese females who want to start a business in Japan?
I think get connected with those female founders is one because I think the female founders have the same difficulties that they have been facing before, so they will understand like what you're going to be being through, and that's going to be a good advices for you. And also they want to help. I want to help like female founders in Japan too. So as much as I can, I want to help those like people who wants to build, especially female founders in Japan as well. So
And how can Japanese females find these female founders in Japan?
I found a lot of events
Okay.
going on. Yeah, I didn't say good about networking, but yeah, starting with like from a networking event could be
Okay.
one. Yeah.
How do you find these events? If is are they like the international ones?
I found some international one. Like, if you can look for some events on like you can look for some events on LinkedIn, or yeah, reach out to me and I can connect with some people too. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the number one piece of advice that you received that helped you start a business in Japan?
Sure. So I work. My advice that I got is falling to the direction that the world is you think is falling to, because you will never expect the future. For example, I was doing the tourism business and COVID hit, and no one expected that to happen, right? So you don't know. But if the direction is what you believed in, then you will stay in the industry because that's what you are believing in, and no one can reject that. So that's the biggest advice that I got during the COVID time when I was really, feeling tough. Yeah.
Do you need to have a lot of money in Japan to start a business here?
Don't think not really. There are a lot of company who wants to invest in startups in Japan, especially recently. There's a startup movement, I think, in Japan as well. And also there are many grants that is supporting newly founded company in Japan as well. And interest rate in Japan is really low, so
No.
that's some opportunity there too.
Very good. Sounds like it's a good time. Tamagi-san, thank you so much. I appreciate it.